Hello, television family. We have safely made it to a Friday, and we've safely made it to a brand new month. It is November. It is upon us, 2024. I am Dan Kuntz. It is raining lightly, has been for about an hour. When I got up at 3, it wasn't raining. It was certainly foggy and cloudy, but it wasn't raining. My barometer on how thick the clouds and the fog is the cross. I go out, and if I can see the cross, I know it's not too bad. You can't see the cross. Can't see much of anything from our camera behind me, as you can see. Rain all day today. Quite a bit of rain. We'll have the complete forecast details coming up. Not heavy rain, just steady light rain all day until about midnight tonight. Slight chance of a little bit of light rain early Saturday morning. If you're an early morning riser on weekends, you might get a little wet. Outside of that, the weekend isn't looking too bad. Some significant snow in the mountains, though, too. We'll talk about that when we get to the weather forecast. This is going to be wet and cold and gray today. We got news and a lot of it. We got sports because it's Friday and it's in the autumn, and there's a lot of sports to talk about, including results of last night's prep action. And we'll preview tonight's game that we will have for you right here on the NCAA Live channel. Eastmont Wildcats wrap up their regular season. They will finish second in the Columbia Basin Big Nine. Moses Lake has won the regular season title. Eastmont will take on West Valley in their regular season finale tonight before they get into the playoffs next weekend. We'll have that game for you. We'll preview it. Airtime tonight at 6:30, 7 o'clock kickoff with Grant Olson and Brandon Harley on the call. Eric gets tonight off. Good for you, Eric. You deserve it as well. And in the back half of the program, the last of our political interviews, as you know by now, election day is on Tuesday. It's the one we haven't done yet. It's the one that's gotten the most attention by far in our area anyway. If you're a resident of Chelan County, you got to make up your mind between Brad Hawkins and Flint Hartwig for the open seat that's being vacated by Tiffany Gehring. They sat down with their own Jefferson Robbins. They're spending a lot of money. Brad Hawkins has spent over $145,000 to win this state seat, and Flint Hartwig has spent about $41,000 to win this seat. Big money going around. We'll have that interview, an edited version of it, so we can fit it into the program in the back half of the program. 2 minutes after the hour, whatever we can see, we can see. We'll see, which isn't much. I mean, if it wasn't for the actual cross, as we go to the Wenatchee Heights camera, that's that little abutment that you see in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. That is lit up because the cross is right next to it, and of course it's LED lights. It's quite bright. But if you're down on the valley floor and you look up towards the cross at the tip of Wenatchee Heights, you won't be able to see it. In fact, you can't really see much of anything once you get above, say, I don't know, 2,000 feet or so. You can pretty much forget about that. That is the actual Wenatchee Heights camera. You just can't see anything. Camera number 2 is something I think we can see. There's the Arundel Rock camera. And look at the ambient light that's reflecting from the Wenatchee Valley off into the distance. That's pretty cool. That's the only way you can see the Wenatchee Valley is look up at the clouds. The Arundel Rock camera, traffic on Highway 97 and US 2 on your left, Rocky Reach Dam on your right. Oh, and there's a car. Light rain everywhere, by the way. Everybody has light rain, but it's considerably warmer. It's 43 degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley. Our overnight low last night was 32. The overnight low the night before was 32. The last time we had back-to-back overnight lows of 32 degrees or lower was back in March 8th and 9th. That is a long, long time. Camera number 3. A beautiful view of, I'm going to guess maybe Bear Mountain, Lake Wenatchee. That's the Wahatus camera. Okay, well, there you go. Good morning, Wahatus. I don't know if Wahatus High School has a game tonight. We don't follow them here in the Wenatchee Valley. That's what it looks like from that camera. And our 4th camera is what it looks like from the camera high above Lake Wenatchee. So the lake is down there. I'm trying to pick out, you can't even pick out any lights or anything. Well, there's not a lot of people who live on Lake Wenatchee, but you can't see anything there. I mean, that's these cameras have to be up high for us to see a big swath of real estate. And when you have days like today, you just can't seem to make out anything. If you're heading up into the mountain passes travel-wise, get ready for some winter driving conditions. This is your snow totals going on right now, and it's snowing lightly on most of the major mountain passes all the way through 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Stevens, as you can see, they're going to get about 6 to 8 inches of snow by the time this system is through. Blewett's going to get about 2 to 3 inches of snow. Snoqualmie, not much, maybe an inch on I-90. So if you need to drive over to the Puget Sound area and you really hate driving in snow, you might want to take Blewett and I-90, because Stevens is going to get pretty good dose of it. 6 to 8 inches of snow. Again, not heavy snow, just light, constant snow, so maybe those plows can stay ahead of the game. A little bit closer to home, our chance of rain today is 100% because it's raining lightly right now and it's going to rain for the rest of the day today. The chance of us getting a half an inch of rain, which is a lot, this is between now and Saturday morning, is about a 50% chance of half an inch of rain. Moses Lake has a 70% chance of getting half an inch of rain with this system coming through that's overtaking our area. But the winner is Omak. Omak up north, you have an 85% chance of getting at least half an inch of rain. So rain for everybody all day, and right on into the evening hours, it tapers off about midnight, 38 for the overnight low. A little bit of rain possible Saturday morning. Outside of that, we'll see some sunshine. That won't be too bad. And a high of 53. Very little cloud cover on Saturday night means the overnight low is going to get down there to 35. We do Saturday and Sunday is going to be twins. Same deal. Lots of sunshine, but a lingering chance of the occasional raindrop. Again, a high of 53. Monday, rain in the afternoon. So dry in the morning, rain on Monday afternoon, and a pretty good dose of it. We'll get up to 50 for Election Day proper. Mostly sunny, but still a chance of rain. And a high of 51 degrees. Our normal high this time of the year is 51 degrees. So we'll be hovering right around the normal mark as far as our temperatures are concerned. But today is going to be wet. Coming up next is the news, because that's what we do next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley Friday edition on the NCW Life Channel.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, located on South Wenatchee Ave, has the largest selection of spas and swim spas in town. Stay cool this summer in an artesian swim spa and use it all year long. We enjoy helping families reconnect one spa at a time. Hot tubs are proven to improve sleep and decrease arthritis pain. Our passion is water, so please bring us a water sample, and we will help you diagnose your pool or spa water for free. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, your pool and spa experts.
The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
During the time I have served as your commissioner, the PUD has paid down more than $700 million in debt. I've worked hard to keep power rates low and utility services reliable. More than 80% of the county residents have access to high-speed fiber. I'm a real believer in local collaboration, in decision-making to get things done on behalf of all residents, and decisions made creating the best outcomes for the most people for the longest period. Thank you for your vote on November 5th.
Raining lightly, 43 degrees downtown. Going to rain all day today. Not heavy, but consistent, light, persistent rain. And it will only be in the upper 40s. It'll rain, it'll taper off. Tonight, we're in for a fairly nice weekend, but still a lingering chance of precipitation. Just about 9 minutes after the hour, the Washington Court of Appeals says the Wenatchee Valley's Public Health Agency could be held liable for that 2021 cyber attack that exposed the private health information of its clients. The higher court on Thursday reversed the dismissal of a lawsuit seeking damages from the Chelan-Douglas Health District. The two plaintiffs say they were among the 109,000 people whose personal data was stolen from Health District computers. In the aftermath, they received numerous spam calls and emails. One of them learned her personal information was used to file for an unauthorized business license. Chelan County Judge Kristen Ferreira dismissed their case, saying they'd shown no evidence of harm, but the Court of Appeals overruled that decision, saying the Health District has a duty to keep personal information secure and that the plaintiffs should have a chance to prove damages at trial. The suspect arrested in an October 15th SWAT operation formally arraigned Wednesday on drug charges. 30-year-old Osvaldo Verduzco Mendoza charged in Chelan County Superior Court unlawful possession of fentanyl, methamphetamine with intent to deliver, plus counts of second-degree assault and eluding police. Verduzco was allegedly carrying saleable volumes of narcotics when the police SWAT team stopped him in his vehicle at Mission and Benton Streets and took him into custody. He remains held at the Chelan County Jail on a $250,000 bond. He is set for trial come December. The city of Wenatchee is looking at ways to increase its stock of what's called middle housing. Middle housing is the smaller and denser developments like apartments and duplexes that fall into the medium price range. Until modern zoning made it less desirable, middle housing was common in older Wenatchee neighborhoods. On Wednesday, city planners took 2 council members on a tour of middle housing examples in the areas of Yakima and Okanagan streets. Assistant Community Development Director Stephen Noonschwader led the tour. He told us as home affordability remains tight, the city is considering code changes to make certain kinds of middle housing practical again.
So middle housing it's duplexes, triplexes, cottage, smaller multifamily. So traditionally you see single family homes and mid-rise apartments, right? And it's middle housing is everything in between that. So again, that whole toolbox of duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, 5 and 6 plexes can even be middle housing. Modern vernacular in the city planning it's the missing middle because it has been passed over for conventional zoning, which is focused on single family, put a priority on that, as well as higher density mid-rise apartment buildings. And so yeah, we don't have a lot of it being built for a long time, but we're starting to see more of that happen now since our housing code update that we did in 2019.
Noonschwader says the code revisions are heading to the Wenatchee Planning Commission, which will make recommendations on whether the City Council should adopt them into law by the end of this year. Chelan County took input from the public on Wednesday on how to get the best use out of its backcountry motorized trails. The county is developing its first ever comprehensive plan for connecting its motorized trails and creating rules for riders of e-bikes, motorcycles, ATVs, snowmobiles. The meeting took place at the Confluence Technology Center. Chelan County Natural Resources Director Mike Caputa told us it was meant to help sharpen the focus of the county's planning process.
We had a couple of reasons we wanted to initiate this plan. One, we want to work with the Forest Service as they do what's called travel management across all the federal properties. So we want to have some ideas from the motorized rec community. What kinds of opportunities would they like to see? What kind of trails would they like to see? So it'll help inform the federal process. The county is also, every 7 years, we have to update our countywide parks and recreation plan. And we thought motorized recreation was underrepresented in our planning process. So we're going to add this on to our countywide parks and rec plan. We're also interested in understanding the economic drivers and the economic development behind motorized recreation. What we saw from the presentation earlier is that, there are millions, in a case like up to $1 billion being spent statewide on motorized recreation and outdoor activities. So what we're trying to understand in Chelan County is, where do those people come from? Are they all homegrown? Do they come from the west side? And what kind of money do they spend here? The statewide information was collected the last time it was collected was 2019. So it's before COVID. We know a lot of things have changed since COVID. So we really want to understand what's going on here in Chelan County.
U.S. Senators Patty Murray, Maria Cantwell, and U.S. Representative Dan Newhouse, they're requesting a major disaster declaration for the Colville Confederated Tribes. In a letter sent to President Biden, the members wrote in support of the Colville Business Council's request on October 17th for assistance because of damages caused by wildfires. You might remember back in July, lightning strikes ignited a wildfire on the Colville Reservation, and that led to hundreds of residents to evacuate their homes, and it caused extensive damage to critical infrastructure. The letter says over 57,000 acres, including rangeland and agricultural areas, and 61 culturally significant tribal sites were burned. The letter asks the Biden administration for assistance as quickly as possible. And the Washington State Public Disclosure Commission has issued a $5,000 fine to the Washington State Republican Party for 4 different violations on Tuesday. The PDC found the party made an illegal contribution to a Let's Go Washington ballot measure and failed to include sponsor ID on a text message in the 2023 election. The PDC also found that the party delayed reporting of the expenditure related to that 2023 text message. And they also found that the party accepted over $106,000 of anonymous contributions this year. The PDC press release says campaigns and committees are restricted to accept no more than $500 or 1% of their total contributions in a calendar year from anonymous sources. Campaigns or committees found in violation can ask the Commission for reconsideration within 10 days, or they can appeal to the Superior Court within 30 days. That's the news. At 1:15, one more newscast before we send you on your way. It's going to be a busy day for Grant. He's got news to do today, and then he's got football tonight. The news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, 5, 6, and 10 on television. That doesn't work into your schedule, and hey, we get it. A lot of people watch our newscast online, and that's what it's there for. It'll be up and running on our homepage, ncwlife.com, our Facebook page, our YouTube page. We try to make our newscast as accessible as possible for you, the viewer, and if there's something out there that you think might warrant our attention, you send us an email. Couldn't hurt. news@ncwlife.com. Sports is next. You're watching a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Need a break from reality? Central Washington Water has a showroom full of possibilities. Ask about a saltwater system for a more natural approach to water care. They use less chemicals and have less maintenance. Free-flow plug-and-play spas make it simple and affordable to get you soaking. At Central Washington Water, there's a hot tub for every space and every budget. Central Washington Water, your water care professionals.
I'm Jim Heinlein, and I've been working with you all for about 20 years now. And it's safe to say I've seen most every situation as it relates to annual election period. This AEP is going to be like a tsunami. It's not tall, but it's huge in effect. And when the water retreats, you're going to see the damage to those who didn't react properly. So what is a proper reaction? Well, call a local insurance professional like Springwater Insurance. We have already developed a strategy for those of you who need a change. Give us a call at 509-888-2600.
Let Mary Maid's custom cleaning experts help you clean up your to-do list. Between work, kids, and pets, it's hard to find time to keep up. Let Mary Maids of Wenatchee help. Mary Maid's cleaning experts can help keep your home or business fresh, neat, and exactly how you'd clean it, if only you had the time. Call now for a free estimate, 509-663-1710. Serving Chelan and Douglas counties, Mary Maids, let us help.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
18 minutes after the hour, we'll start with college football. Even though they're in a new conference, they're still going to play each other. Talk about the Huskies and Southern Cal. It's the Washington and USC tomorrow afternoon. Husky Stadium kickoff for that game, 4:30 on the Big Ten Network. Earlier in the day, Eastern Washington will play host to unbeaten Montana State. That'll be in Cheney at 1 o'clock on ESPN+. Central Washington is on the road in Texas. They'll take on Angelo State at 4 o'clock, and the Cougars have the weekend off. Seahawks continue preparing to take on the Rams Sunday at Lumen Field in Seattle. Seattle and LA will kick off Sunday at 1:25. The game will be broadcast on Fox. Earlier in the afternoon, but not by much, is Arizona hosting the Bears. The 49ers are like the Cougars. They have the weekend off. Maybe they should play each other. I'd watch that. The Wenatchee Wild hope home ice will change their fortunes in WHL play this weekend. They've been struggling. Wenatchee plays host to the Everett Silvertips tonight at 7 at the Town Toyota Center. Tomorrow, for the first time ever, Wenatchee will play the Edmonton Oil Kings. The puck drops Saturday at 6 o'clock, 1 hour earlier. For information, go to WenatcheeWild.com. All right, Big 9 football from last night. Southridge just creamed Wenatchee 48-7 in the last regular season game. The Panthers will play one more game next weekend to wrap up their season. Of course, Eastmont wraps up their regular season with senior night tonight against the West Valley Rams. Coach Jay Foster expects the weather to wreak havoc on the surface at Wildcat Stadium. It's already pretty beat up. He says that's why his team needs to run the ball.
Yes, we do. I'm sorry, I have to chuckle about the field a little bit. It's a little rough out there. Yeah. I mean, the bottom line, and I'm from the Northeast, and if you can't run the football, you're not winning in the playoffs because you can get any kind of weather at that point. And it's a little more drastic than here, but at the same time, that's still the same idea. If you can't run the football, you're not going to win in playoffs.
Yeah, Foster says the running game is going to be important against West Valley because they want to keep their high-scoring offense off the field.
Well, they've scored in bunches, and they've been a Jekyll and Hyde thing. Early in the season they were scoring and playing defense, did pretty well, and then the last 2 or 3 games they've struggled putting the ball in the end zone, and I'm hoping that continues. Obviously, but yeah, they throw the football. It's a similar type offense that blew us up 2 weeks ago, and if they get going, that's what scares me, obviously. I do not want to get into a shootout. Even though we scored 52 last week, that's a combination of events that happens there. We're not designed to be in a shootout. We're designed in a slugfest. So, defensively, we have to step up and stop the pass and not allow them to get going. And offensively, we have to protect the football and continue to do what we've done the last few weeks.
Senior defensive back Braden Jones is well aware of the Rams' ability to throw the ball, so he and his fellow defensive backfield will need to be improved.
Yeah, it's been pretty decent so far. We just got to clean up a couple things, mainly a little bit on the pass. We have a really nice D-line. We have some pretty nice linebackers. We just got to clean it up a little bit on the defensive backside, kind of cover the pass, and should be pretty exciting.
Well, let's talk about that with this West Valley team. They like to throw it around a little bit. What are you expecting?
Yeah, they do. They run a kind of similar offense to Moses Lake, so it should be pretty interesting seeing if we can recover, kind of just readjust and see how we play against that again.
Jones decided to play football for the very first time just last year when he was a junior, and he told our very own Eric Grandstrom it was an eye-opening experience.
It's definitely a great choice. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely, there's no sport like it. It's amazing.
I guess being someone that's pretty new to it, coming in last year and things like that, how long did it take you to get used to the violence of football?
Probably about a couple weeks. I mean, right off the get-go, we put on pads, and I was going up against some pretty big guys, and it was definitely a learning curve. But once you kind of get into the mindset, it's pretty straightforward from there.
Better to hit than be hit, right?
Yeah, that's what my dad always told me. I never understood, but now I do.
It'll be fun tonight. It'll be wet. So get going. 6:30, our pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff. Grant Olson and Brandon Harley will have the call. It'll be on television and streaming on our Facebook page. In the CWAC, they played almost every game on Thursday night. Last night, they had to because there's all kinds of tie-breaking scenarios, so they had to keep Saturday open for some tie-breaking games, and there are your winners in CWAC. There's one exception. Othello and Quincy will play in Quincy tonight. Othello has already won the CWAC regular season title. In the South Central Athletic Conference tonight, Cashmere visits Natchez Valley. Wapato will host Royal as Wahluke visiting Connell, and Zilla is at College Place. Caribou Trail League is just down to 3 teams, so you have to do what you can to make a schedule. So OMAC played a non-leaguer against Mount Baker, and they won 27-20. Cascade and Chelan, that rivalry gets going tonight at 7 o'clock in the rain in Chelan. Central Washington 2B football, one score from last night. Bridgeport beat Republic. The rest of the games are tonight. Lake of Roosevelt at Okanagan, Manson at Brewster, and Liberty Bell at Tenasket. Just one B game tonight, and there it is. It's Moses Lake Christian and Soap Lake at 7 o'clock. All the rest of the games are tomorrow. Well, at least it'll be dry. It was also dry inside the Moses Lake Gymnasium, but it didn't matter for Eastmont. Moses Lake beat Eastmont in the last regular season volleyball match of the year, 3-1. Davis got by West Valley 3-1. Yeah, the District 5 and 6 combined 1A soccer tournament got underway last night. Cashmere all over College Place 10-0. They went all the way to penalty kicks, and Wahluke ended up knocking off Cascade 1-0. It was Natchez Valley over OMAC 6-0. Keona Benton over Royal 1-0. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. It's November 1st. It's All Saints Day. I think you know that. There's all kinds of different obscure holidays today. But today is World Vegan Day because this is kind of the anniversary. If there's a hard anniversary for you vegans out there, it's today. November 1st, 1944, Donald Watson got together with 5 other non-dairy vegetarians because they all, that was what they were into. and they wanted to discuss non-dairy vegetarian diets and how what it does to your body and how healthy it is and how do you make it, all that stuff. And as such, they founded a new movement that would eventually be called the Vegan Lifestyle. It's World Vegan Day. Famous vegans, Zac Efron, Beyonce, Bill Clinton. When you have triple bypass surgery, you have a tendency to change your diet. Natalie Portman, Madonna, Woody Harrelson, James Cameron, Joaquin Phoenix, they're all vegans. I know a number of them. As a matter of fact, today is your day today. And if you're a vegan, this is a good day to have it because, you know, it's all kinds of vegetables out there. Today in history, there it is. The Stamp Act, November 1st, 1765, 259 years ago today. The French and Indian War is over. And, well, they got to pay for it. And the British wanted the French to kind of 86 themselves. So the British Parliament enacts the Stamp Act on the 13 colonies to help pay for British military operations in North America. This did not go over very well with the colonists. For one thing, they didn't like the British and they liked the French. They were not worried about the French invading them. They said, the French are cool. You guys suck. We don't want to pay for it. And besides, we already did pay for the damn war. That was one of the small little things that led further and further to the American Revolutionary War. The Stamp Act, they didn't think that one all the way through. It became the law 259 years ago today. This is the only known photograph. This is a collector's item. There it is. Because it was on November 1st, 1800, 224 years ago today, John Adams and his wife move into the White House, what was then known as the Executive Mansion, the very first occupant. George Washington never lived in the White House. John Adams becomes the first president. There they are moving in. That's an extremely rare photograph. Of course, very little of the original White House remains. The British burned most of the original building in 1814. There are 132 rooms in the White House, 32 bathrooms. It's 6 levels, 412 doors, 147 windows, 28 fireplaces, 7 staircases, 3 elevators. There's a tennis court, a jogging track, a swimming pool, a movie theater, a billiard room, and a bowling lane. Not a bad pad. The White House is 224 years old today. If you've ever seen the movie Seabiscuit, the actual event based on that movie took place on November 1st, 1938. War Admiral was the Triple Crown winner. The Triple Crown winner was War Admiral Seabiscuit. Won. Talk about your upset victory, and it was just a match race. Just the 2 horses, nothing else. Of course, if you've seen the movie, you know what it's all about. It's a pretty good movie, too. Seabiscuit defeats War Admiral in a huge upset 86 years ago today. November 1st, 1950. In 1950, they were remodeling the White House, so Harry Truman and his wife, Bess, and their daughter, Margaret, were not living in the White House. They were living across the street at Blair House, and he would just walk across the street to the West Wing to get his job done. Well, on this date 74 years ago today, 2 Puerto Rican nationalists attempt to kill President Truman at Blair House. He was napping upstairs right above the front door. Here's a newsreel footage from the events of 74 years ago today.
Outside Blair House, the president's temporary Washington home, extreme fanatics of the Puerto Rican Nationalist Party try to force their way in, guns blazing, to assassinate the President of the United States. When the 3-minute shooting is over, assassin Griselio Torresola lies dead on the Blair House lawn, and White House policeman Leslie Kofelt is dying a few feet away. Assassin Oscar Collazo and 2 other guards are wounded as the plot is foiled. Police and Secret Service men examine the damage. A picket on the iron fence is knocked off. The steps and doorway of Blair House bear bullet holes. Only the guards' quick action prevented more casualties. At Washington's emergency hospital, the 24-hour guard watches over Collazo, who, despite a chest wound, recovers to face trial for murder. The president, who was taking his after-lunch nap upstairs in Blair House at the time of the shooting, emerged shortly afterward to attend ceremonies at Arlington. Americans of all political beliefs congratulate Mr. Truman on his escape.
Hard to believe. November 1st, 1950, 74 years ago today. November 1st, 1955. His name was Jack Graham. He was born during the Great Depression. In 1937, his dad died. He was just a kid. His mom, Daisy, sent Jack to an orphanage because she didn't have any money. Well, in 1941, Daisy got married to a very wealthy gentleman. That wealthy gentleman died. She inherited a bunch of money, became a successful businesswoman, but despite she was very wealthy, she didn't bother to go get her son Jack out of the orphanage. He eventually got out of the orphanage because he aged out. Needless to say, Jack and his mom did not get along very well. She wanted basically nothing to do with her natural son. Daisy said, Jack, you're on your own. I want nothing to do with you, and you're not getting a dime. So Jack Graham, on this date in 1955, put a bomb in his mom's luggage on United Airlines Flight 629 nonstop from Denver to Portland. The bomb detonated. Everybody on board died. He was convicted and executed. And finally, happy birthday to what the locals call Big Mac. The Mackinac Bridge, it connects, of course, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and the Lower Peninsula of Michigan. It's a big bridge. When it opened on this date in 1957, it was the longest suspension bridge between anchorages at the time. It's a big bridge. It's 5 miles long. And if you have G5-phobia, which is the fear of crossing the bridge, the Mackinac Bridge Authority has a driver's assistance program. It provides drivers for those who have G5-phobia, or anybody who's more comfortable having somebody else drive them across a bridge that's 5 miles long above the water. And more than 1,000 people use the service every year. So you can cross the bridge. You don't have to drive your own car. You just have to make arrangements in advance. Let's do some birthdays. All living. I like it when we can do that. Gary Player, one of only 5 golfers to win the career Grand Slam and the first foreign-born golfer to win the Masters. Gary Player is 89 years old today. David Foster has written more #1 hits than almost everybody. I mean, starting in the early 1970s and going right through for the last 25, 30, 35 years. There's probably not a song on the radio that David Foster didn't write. It seems that way anyway. David Foster, the great songwriter and a good musician as well. He's 75 years old today. And happy 64th. His name isn't Tim Apple. His name is Tim Cook. He is the man who is running Apple and running it good because they make a lot of money. Tim Cook, the current CEO of Apple, is 64 years old today, and I'm using one of his products right now. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. And, well, you know what the forecast is. It's going to rain. Eventually, it's going to get cold. And a lot of people, especially if you have a big house, you'll find one room that's really cold and one room that's really hot, and they can't figure out what the heck's going on. Call these guys. They'll fix it up. Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Still to come, an opinion from Mike Matt Dominati. And then the last of our candidate profile interviews, our news director Jefferson Robbins sat down at the same time with Flint Hartwig and Brad Hawkins. They both are running for the open seat for Chelan County Commissioner, and they're spending a lot of money doing it. That interview, when we come back, you're watching Wake Up in Anchi Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Want to stay up to date on the latest news in the area? Tired of paying for your news? Download the NCW Life app now. No subscriptions necessary. Get news, weather, sports, and more live as it happens. Available for iPhone and Android in the App Store. Local news at your fingertips. Don't miss the stories that matter to you. Stay connected. Download the NCW Life app now.
This is the time of year we celebrate family, traditions, and great food. At Abby's, our legendary pizzas are so giant that they feed up to 6 happy family members. When you need a break from cooking, think Abby's. Our place or your place. Our family is here for your family.
The Triple Topper's back!
This November, what makes Abby's Triple Topper so great? It's the pepperoni, Canadian bacon, and ground beef toppings piled to the edge. It's a whole lot of pizza at a very special price. Order your Triple Topper at abbys.com.
Enjoy the sounds of summer from your very own pool and spa. Blue Lagoon is now scheduling pool installations for this summer. Call today to schedule a free consultation for a custom San Juan fiberglass pool. And let the experts at Blue Lagoon handle the construction, installation, and regular maintenance. Turn your boring backyard into vacation paradise this summer with industry-leading San Juan pool. No need to go off the deep end. Relax knowing you're in great hands with Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa.
Have you ever played that game, What Would You Rather? Where you give 2 options to see what your friend would choose? Well, let's try it. What would you rather? Would you rather have a telemarketer from a foreign call center named David, or a local North Central Washington agent who has been helping folks for over 20 years on Medicare and has 5 offices to serve you, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So, what would you rather? Now give us a call at Springwater Insurance. Our phone number, 509-888-2600.
Hey, this is Mike, Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, that lighted cross in South Wenatchee and the planned one in Leavenworth, they got me thinking. Now, this is America, where our Constitution guarantees freedom of religion. It does not allow promoting one religion over the other. No, it doesn't. And now, how would the cross supporters feel if our Jewish folks wanted to put up a huge lighted Star of David overlooking the valley? Well, how about it if our Muslim devotees built an illuminated crescent and star that we had to look at every night? You know, at least those two faiths have some justification in saying they want to stand up against persecution, where we of the Christian faith really do not. No, we don't. This is Mike, Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure, on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel. If your chair is comfortable and still fits, don't toss it. Reupholster it at Wenatchee Upholstery. The sky is the limit. From new upholstery in your favorite car to upgrading your seats in the boats. Everything old can be new again when you call Joe. Personalize your golf cart, grandma's chair, your favorite bar stool. Trust your treasure with Wenatchee Upholstery.
Hey there folks, Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to experience Blueberry Hills. Of course, the food is fabulous, like our cheese splints, our famous French dip, our legendary Eggs Benedict, and unforgettable burgers. But we're more than just great food. People come from all over the world to experience what's been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Attention all units, be on the lookout for Hot Tub John's mind. That's right, Hot Tub John's has lost his mind at Hot Tubs Liquidators. Get a 5-person platinum spa with all the options, including 34 jets for $59.95, or a 6-person infinity with all the options included, 91 jets for $79.95. That's nuts! Celebrate these grand opening deals at both locations in Chelan and now in Wenatchee. Stay tuned for the next episode of Where's John's Mind? Hot Tub Liquidators.
Jefferson Robbins for NCW Life. Between redistrictings and retirements, you're going to see a lot of new names on your ballot come this November. We are interviewing candidates all this week for various local races, including candidates for Chelan County Commissioner District 3. I'm joined by those two gentlemen now, Brad Hawkins, Flint Hartwig. Welcome.
Thanks so much for having us, Jefferson.
Really appreciate you both being able to spend some time.
Thanks for the opportunity.
We are sitting down with local candidates today. We're talking about Chelan County Commissioner District 3. Tiffany Gehring is leaving that seat. And the two of you, although you may be known in certain respects in the community, I want you to introduce yourself to our viewers as if they have no idea who you are and no idea why they should vote for you. Because you're on the ballot in first position, Brad, we will start with you. You have 1 minute to introduce yourself.
Well, awesome, Jefferson. And thanks again for having us. And Flint, thanks for coming. My name's Brad Hawkins. I was raised here in Wenatchee in Chelan County. I'm a proud husband and father. My wife, Shauna, and I have been married for 22 years. I'm really excited to have the opportunity to run for this position. I currently serve as our state senator. And previously, I served as a state representative, served on school boards. I worked previously as a PUD employee for 18 years. But given the wildly reconfigured legislative district, my family and I decided both personally and professionally it would be better to run for the Chelan County Commissioner position, which is open. So I feel like I could cut down spending half the time of the year away in Olympia and less time away from family and more time dedicated to my service with Chelan County and to bring all my experience to Chelan County. So that's why I'm running.
Brad, thank you. Flint Hartwig, please introduce yourself to our viewers. As the candidate, you've got 1 minute.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. And again, thanks, Brad, for being here as well. And I was born in Washington State, but not in Wenatchee. I was raised in Central America. My parents were humanitarian relief workers doing mostly water well drilling, soil and water conservation projects. Mom was a midwife and opening clinics, delivering babies, stuff like that. And in order to kind of get reacclimated into U.S. lifestyle, we moved to Leavenworth in the 90s. And then I started work for Les Schwab here, so I've got some experience in retail and stuff like that. And then ended up starting a construction company when I was about 21 years old and developed that into the home building company that it is today. So most of my experience is in business, and I'm one of the owners of the Riverfront Rock Climbing Gym, and we used to own a restaurant in town, stuff like that. So I got motivated to run for county commissioner just because I want to reduce bureaucracy and reduce waste.
All right, that's your time. I appreciate it. And Flint, I'm going to stick with you for the next question. Broadly and in general, what issues do you think, as a candidate, are crying out to be addressed in Chelan County that you think you could deal with well as commissioner? And you have 2 minutes for this answer.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I think that the building department needs to tune up. It's too hard to get permits right now. We're building the Alethea Riding Center, and it took us 7 months to get a permit with exactly one comment back as a question. So we need to kind of reorganize that department a little bit, get that moving. I feel like we're in a bit of a housing crisis right now. We're building about 60% of the houses that we were just a few years ago, and that's going to translate to bigger problems in the future. I have plans to do small houses that would sell for around $250,000, and so far the city of Entiat has agreed to entertain that project. I also see budget crisis coming down the pipe because right now we're living off 2022 valuations, and the 2023 valuations came out, they're a little bit less, so there's going to have to be some tightening of the budget, and that's something I would be particularly good at. And also law enforcement needs all the help they can get, so I'm basically just an essential roles of government kind of guy. I want the smallest, most efficient government we can have, and so we're talking about potholes, roads, and also just want to reduce waste everywhere I can. I think my business background specifically is going to be it would be my strong suit. I'm very good at managing money, and I'm very good at managing people, and I'm very good at getting results. So all my experiences have counted on that. If I'm going to have a successful company, I have to get results when money is spent, and I have to hold people accountable. So the big difference for me is just going to be, be a different scene, but the same principles apply. So I just want efficiency. I want the smallest government we can have.
Brad, the same question goes to you. From your perspective, what issues do you think are crying out to be addressed in Chelan County that you want to tackle as commissioner?
Sure. Well, first off, we are blessed to live in Chelan County. It's a beautiful place, but it isn't without its challenges. I think we need to continue to grow and diversify our county economy so that we can maintain a balanced budget and maintain the county services. I do see some issues with valuations, but also with potential flattening of our sales tax revenue. And the county receives a substantial amount of revenue for its budget from sales tax and property taxes. And if we can continue to grow and diversify the county economy and maintain a balanced budget, we can hopefully help mitigate the growing property taxes that people are experiencing all throughout Chelan County. We do have challenges with affordable housing. We have some human service issues as well, with homeless and a significant amount of fentanyl now coming into the county. But I think the biggest issue crying out to Chelan County is our wildfire risk. And when we look at wildfire, we have to kind of look at two things. One is the initial firefighting and fire suppression, and then also the long-term strategic effort to reduce the fuels within Chelan County. Chelan County has a vast amount of federal lands, and we are really susceptible to lightning strikes and human-caused fires. So if we can continue to figure out a way where we can put out the fires soon after they start, rather than just managing them once they get burning, and strategically thin the forest, removing the small diameter trees, clearing out the underbrush, treating the landscape with prescribed fire, we can help generate some economic activity from the forest. But I bet all of those things, along with some others, are challenges to Chelan County. But like I said, we are blessed to live here.
On September 19th, Commissioner Tiffany Gehring, whom you're campaigning to succeed, announced that she would endorse Flint and his candidacy. What weight should that endorsement carry of a departing county commissioner saying, this is the person I want to take on that seat?
Well, I guess that's up to her. You know, I don't want to disrespect her, but I believe she maybe wasn't prepared for the job. She's struggled, and now she's moving on. I personally, it's tough with campaigns because campaigns are about differences between candidates. I believe Flint would similarly struggle a bit in the position. I believe I could come into the position within just a few months, given my background and relationships with local, state, and federal officials, understanding of the state process, and make more of an immediate contribution. Whereas I think someone like Flint or perhaps Commissioner Gehring, it took several years to kind of get your feet on the ground in the position. But people are free to endorse whoever they want. I'm really grateful for my endorsements. Just recently, a group of mayors endorsed my campaign. Former Mayor Frank Kuntz of Wenatchee, the current mayor Mike Poirier of Wenatchee, the mayor across the way, Geraldine Crawford, Mayor of Leavenworth Carl Flory, Mayor of Kashmir Jim Fletcher, the former mayor of Chelan Mike Cooney, and other business leaders, Bart Clennon, Doug and Katie Pauley, former general manager of Chelan PUD Steve Wright, longtime community advocate Gene Sherritt, and other groups like the Mainstream Republicans, the Wenatchee Valley Firefighters Union. I'm grateful for those endorsements, and I'm sure Flint is grateful for his. And ultimately, it's not really about who's endorsing who, even though we're pleased with our endorsements. It's really about who the voters of Chelan County want as their next Chelan County commissioner. And I'm hoping that I'm the clear choice based on my experience and understanding of the process and my work with local groups.
And my question to you, Flint, was related that Brad does have the endorsements that he mentioned of current and former mayors in particular. So what weight should that carry, and what endorsements do you bring in that you feel have value and weight to the campaign?
Well, first and foremost, Tiffany Gehring. I actually have a ton of respect for her, and I think she's done a good job, as well as the two candidates that were also in the race, Chris Willoughby and Brant Capel, have also endorsed. And if you go to my Facebook page, you'll see a slew of endorsements, everything from past Chelan PUD commissioners to business people, thought leaders in our community. But I'm not going to spend a lot of my time giving you the entire list. There's plenty to check out, as well as the local Republicans as well. So I'm not going to try to out-politician a politician. So he's absolutely right. I don't have the experience that he has. He'll fall right into the slot and immediately do what politicians do, which is tax you and spend your money. That's not me. So if you're looking for somebody to lay down policy after policy and know which way the wind blows and make deals and stuff, that's not how I'm going to be. I'm going to be learning on the job. I'm a quick learner. I'll figure out the nuts and bolts of how to make this thing go. But the difference is at the root of who we are as people. I don't believe government's a panacea. I don't believe that it has the answer for everything. So to that end, I'm not just going to jump in there and go along to get along. there will be a learning curve. But like I said, at the end of the day, the basics are you're managing your tax dollars. You're getting efficiency out of those tax dollars. You're setting expectations for staff and different departments, and then you're saying, hey, let's, if you're the road department, let's get some roads built. If you're the building department, let's issue some permits. If you're law enforcement, let's enforce the law. And this is where I'm really strong, because I don't go along to get along.
Brad, Flint brought up, I think, probably the tax and spend element is something you'd want to respond to in the sense of fiscal management.
Absolutely. I mean, I have a proud record of supporting budgets that are responsible at the state level, and I'll continue to do so as county commissioner. To one of my previous questions and answers, I mean, that's why I want to continue to grow and diversify the county economy so we can generate the sales tax and the property taxes here without additional revenue streams. But also, I wanted to respond because Flint continues to refer to me as a politician, and the irony is I'm not really that political. I think of myself as a public servant, and I've served 4 years in the State House of Representatives and 8 years in the State Senate. That's only 12 years. I mean, a lot of my colleagues in Olympia have served much longer and are much, much older. But I'm hoping in this campaign to bring all of my experiences from Olympia and over the last 10 or 12 years working closely with local business leaders, citizen groups, and community organizations to the county commissioner position.
I'll point out that career politician is a term that also arises in Commissioner Gearing's endorsement of Flint.
Yeah, and can I say something about that? Because
1 minute, please.
Oh, okay. It's kind of an interesting process. I have, campaigns, people can kind of say whatever they want, and I know it's kind of silly season at this point, but I'm really proud of all of those people I just talked about that have endorsed me, and there's others. And like I said, Flint should be proud of his endorsements as well. But all of the people who've endorsed me, of course, are saying really positive things about me. But they're not taking shots at Flint. And I believe that says not only a lot about them, but also about my campaign. And I'm proud of that.
I'm sure that Flint feels similarly about his campaign.
100%, yeah. And by that metric, if 12 years in Olympia doesn't make you a politician, then I guess 20 years building houses doesn't make me a developer. So, that's the level that's the thing that keeps getting leveled up against me, is that you're a developer, yeah, I've been at 20 years, and I think that does make me a developer. And I think if you spend 12 years in Olympia, that makes you a politician.
Our closing question, it's a 1 minute answer if you are able. Flint, why should people vote for you for Cheyenne County Commissioner?
Well, I made a little plaque, and it's going to sit on my desk if I'm fortunate enough to be the county commissioner, and it's going to face me. The name tag will go out, and it's going to face me. And it says, reduce bureaucracy, reduce waste, increase freedom, and increase efficiency. And that is a campaign promise that I can make. I'm not going to say that I can pave your road. I'm not going to say that I can help you on a specific deal. But the metric by where I'm going to measure my candidacy, my campaign and my candidacy, is if I can help in 1,000 little ways. I know I'm not going to be able to go in there and turn the boat around. It's not going to happen. But if I can help one farmer stay farming, I'm going to be proud of that. And if I can help one person get a building permit, I'm going to be proud of that. Help one person stay in their home that's getting taxed off their property. These are the metrics by which I'm going to measure my candidacy. And I just really appreciate everybody's support, and I'm going to need more of it. So I appreciate everybody going to all the different social media outlets that I have. Check me out. And if you have a question, I want you to reach out. I will answer it.
Thank you. And Brad, in 1 minute, why should people vote for you for Chelan County Commissioner?
Well, I don't support bureaucracy and waste either, and I do support freedom, but people should vote for me for Chelan County Commissioner because I believe I'm the clear choice to represent the broad interests of Chelan County, not sort of any singular focus. I bring extensive experience with me to the position if I'm fortunate enough to get elected. I have good relationships with local, state, and federal officials. I think that would be a unique opportunity for Chelan County, and throughout the process I've had the privilege of working with, as I mentioned, almost every community group, organization, and business in Chelan County. So I'm really excited about what I could bring. I have a proven record of taking on challenging issues, bringing people together, working collaboratively, and delivering results for our district. And I'd be honored to continue doing that as Chelan County Commissioner.
Election voting begins October 18th, concludes on Tuesday, November 5th. Brad Hawkins and Flint Hartwig are both Republicans running for Chelan County Commissioner District 3. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you, Jefferson. Appreciate it.
Thanks. You're watching the NCW Life channel.
It's true. Health Alliance and Assurance Northwest Medicare Advantage plans are terminating coverage, and they will no longer be available for you beginning January 1st, 2025. So you have two big options. One, join one of the two new Medicare Advantage plans, WellCare or Humana. Or number two is go back to original Medicare and join a supplement and a Part D drug plan. But there's so much more to discuss here, so here are some suggestions to get you started. Go to our website or call your local Springwater Insurance office for more information.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Welcome to the Gilded Lily home, where something extraordinary is waiting. Fall has arrived at the Gilded Lily. Luscious colors of rust, orange, and gold lead you throughout the entire store. Gourmet foods to delight your guests. Stylish linens, handcrafted jewelry. The Gilded Lily home, where you can step in for inspiration and leave with beautiful items for your home, your kitchen, your lifestyle.
When you've been in business for 40 years, it's because you understand change and you put members first, always. Now Works is announcing a change in their membership model. Up to 6 people on one membership that you can mix and match. The more people, the bigger the discounts. Introducing the Works shared membership model. One membership, friends and family and flexibility. Works, the cleanest, friendliest, most helpful gyms you and your friends will ever join.
Well, it is a little better outside than it was an hour ago when we couldn't basically see anything from our Wenatchee Heights camera. And as you can tell, it's cloudy, it's foggy, it's rainy lightly. It has been in the Wenatchee Valley, at least outside of our studio, since just before 6 o'clock, and it's going to rain pretty much all day today. Now, as far as your mountain passes are concerned, they're going to get some snow. I just looked at the DOT's webcam up at the summit of Stevens Pass. They have a traction tire advisory going on right now. It's snowing, not snowing hard. The roadway is pretty much bare and wet, but there is some slushy spots in places. And beginning today, November 1st, is when the DOT will update on a regular basis as conditions warrant the pass conditions on all of the major and minor mountain passes in our state. But Stevens is expecting about 6 to 8 inches of snow before this thing is all said and done, because they're right at that snow level. So if you're driving up at the mountain passes, specifically Stevens, you're going to get 6 to 8 inches of snow between now and very early Saturday morning, like 5 a.m. And that's when this system is going to kind of taper off. Less snow on Blewett, about 2 to 3 inches, and I-90 will get even less still, only about an inch. And I'm pretty sure it's snowing up at Mission Ridge, and today they can legally start making snow. At Mission Ridge, they always aim for that Thanksgiving weekend opening day, and starting November 1st, they can start the snowmaking equipment, and my guess is Mother Nature's going to give them a little bit of a head start on that. Friendly reminder, it's going to rain tonight all over the place, so if you're going out for high school football, a lot of local games going on, don't forget to pack your rain gear because it's going to be wet, or you can just stay within the comfort and confines of your home. If you want to watch Eastmont football, we'll have the Wildcats and the West Valley Rams tonight at 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff. All right, closer to home, here is your forecast. Did I mention it's going to rain? I think, yes, I did mention it's going to rain. From the National Weather Service, rain all day today. Not heavy rain, just consistent light rain with no real letup. We're only going to get to 48 degrees. Here is your chance of 1.5 inches of rain. Now, a half an inch of rain for the Wenatchee Valley is a lot of rain. We have about a 50% chance of half an inch of rain. Moses Lake has a 70% chance of getting half an inch of rain. In Omak, you have an 85% chance of getting at least 1/2 inch of rain. That's a lot of rain. Again, not heavy, just steady, and all day long. The rain tapers off early Saturday morning. We'll get up to 53 with sunshine. Saturday and Sunday are exactly the same. Sunshine for the most part with a hit and miss chance of rain and highs in the lower 50s, and then typical November weather early next week. That's it for us. Have a great one. We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.